All right, so in recap, our club head speed workshop. So first going through the principles and then going through the actual activities, we wanted to understand that good speed actually comes from having a good posture. So as we get set up to go ahead and hit a golf ball, if we're noticing extremes in our posture, either way, we know that we're not going to be able to create the right motion and essentially have full range of motion, which is going to be the runway that we need in order to initiate speed. So we talked a lot about starting in a neutral posture with back nice and relaxed, right? Ribs tucked down, maybe a little bit of a tuck here, and staying away from this opposite move that we tend to see golfers when they're trying to keep their posture really upright. That's going to limit you. So we got to get ourselves in neutral. And for us in this office, 90% of people that come in here, it starts with tucking your ribs down, feeling that position, and then starting to create that pendulum from there. So that was number one, was talking about posture and how to create better posture. Next, we went into ground force. So this is the one where we had a slider on us, and we started with just really gently feeling a turn into our backswing and rotating spinning that plate underneath our foot. So we're spinning that back and forth, and then we're going to take that out and we're going to use that same torque motion that we did with our foot underneath the slider. We're going to utilize that same torque motion to create a good amount of tension into our glute when we're here in our backswing position. So that was number one. So essentially what we can do in that situation is start by creating this motion here and then getting that out of the way, giving ourselves our friction back on the ground, and then going to there. So that was number one. That was trail side. Lead side is going to be the initiation of the downswing. So as soon as we we want to maintain that. So whenever we drill this, we want to be able to maintain the thing we just did before, right? So posture, take a look at our posture. Now I'm going to turn and I'm going to create that tension here. And then my downswing initiation is going to be that foot coming out, there to there. Tension, initiate, push. Tension, initiate, push. Then we get rid of that. We're going to create tension here. And then my initiation of the push is going to drive me there. So now I'm going to get that hip back in a good scenario and not do one of what tends to happen, which is I'm just falling right through there. All right. So we're going to be able to use our glutes, the biggest muscles of our body, the most powerful muscle group in our body, to push that back, which is also going to give us that little pop that we see when people pull their foot back or do things like that. You see that a lot in the long drive stuff. When people are going here and then wham, that's because they're actually jumping off that and dragging it back. So that was the second one. That was the trail side, lead side, ground force mechanics in order to get the hips going. So then from there, we started to work on stepping on the pedals. So this is where we did our side-to-side kettlebell swing, right? I was having everyone start with just kind of picking a foot up and down, pressing it in the ground, press, 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 release, press, release, press, release, press, release, there to there, because we do want to create hit that gas pedal there. That gas pedal is going to allow us to shift our weight back. So imagine clubs coming up here, and then as we start to make our way down and we're pressing there, now my body's going to start shifting backwards a little bit, and that's going to counteract the force of the club coming down. So not only are we going to move this down, but this just kind of spinning around an axis is going to go a lot quicker if we're moving the center of the axis backwards at the same time, counteracting forces. So that's going to allow for that better zip and just natural speed creation, because as I push the fulcrum away, that's going to allow that's going to allow the club on the outer rim of my motion. It's going to generate that force a lot quicker. So how we made sure we were getting this one done was Just starting really easily, feeling our feet press on the ground as we're moving back and forth. Press, and as we start to get confident, then we're going to start to add some sequence to it, there to there, stepping on the gas. And as I step that, I'm going to push my weight backwards, which is going to allow me to throw that up a bit better. So we can throw in like 5 to 10 of these, just kind of feeling ourselves. And as we pick up pace, as we pick up steam, we can start hammering. So that was the second part, the second main part of the ground reaction forces, which is just knowing the timing of when to press our feet in, because no one does that, no one knows that. Moving forward from there, we started to get into sequence, and this is where rubber really meets the road. We build a swing from the ground up, but we do want to have the right sequence. So this is where we were drilling rib tuck. So we're going to get to the top. I'm going to move my hip. My lead hip is going to pull down, and that's going to pull my ribs down at the same time. So we don't want to end up like this and then just have that lead hip just kind of spinning around, right? Because now my hands are out here. I've actually lost a lot of my rotational capability, and then I'm trying to press myself backward. It's not going to work. So what we want to do here biomechanically is we want to get set up. Want to get up to the top, hips and ribs come down, pulling ourselves straight down, open the hip, bring the ribs down, and that's going to allow you to get set up. Now you have earned the right to turn because we're not in this wide rib up extended position. So if we try to turn from this rib extended position, we won't have any chance. The runway is going to be gone. It's going to be shortened. So this is the one where we are sequencing out, up, pull, unload, relax, up, hip ribs, unload, and relax. So we're opening that up, bringing that down. Open up, bring that down. This is going to be that's the trickiest one by far. All the other things, pretty quick, it's easier. You could be pretty quick to pick those up, right? Because they're just kind of feeling stuff, right? Like feeling a shift in the weight. Feeling the legs spinning on the ground, creating tension. But as soon as we get into this stuff, this is where we have to drill up, tuck, there to there. So that was the sequence portion. That was the sequence portion. It's just being able to get as high as we need to be. Can we bring that down? Then can we unload that? This is the one we're using to stick with it. We're also using PVC pipes. I also have just like a wooden dowel rod over here that some people prefer as well. Just also make sure you're wearing gloves when you practice that one. So something you can just keep some grip on the whatever you're using. And then lastly, we wanted our timing of unloading the hands, right? So this is the one where we did the lead foot in front, a lot of weight on the front. And we were thinking if my swing arc is going to go up to here, and then get here at the end. We're going to take approximately like 75% of that. And we're going to go up to the top. And then we're going to go really, really slow on the way down. And we're going to accelerate once we get to impact position and past. Okay? So this is the one we had a hard time doing. So it's really easy to go fast backwards, recoil set, and swing that through. It's easier. Not really easy, but it's easier. What's harder is being able to control these positions here, get yourself down where you're about to release the club where your hands are supposed to be, and then creating acceleration from there without getting here, load, unload, right? So that was the cool part that when we made that switch, we saw people that were just swinging like crazy, right? All of a sudden now they're getting the yips, right? They don't know they're getting here and what do I do now, right? Well, what we need to be able to do now is continue to explode and rotate through our hips and not load, unload, and get there. Thank you all for joining me. I really had a fun time with this one. We're actually going to run this one back with another group in about 2 weeks. And I'm looking forward to seeing y'all soon. Bye-bye.